History flows like a river. Tell us what happened today in history.
Today, before 1339, on May 6, 680, April 3, 680, the founder of the Umayyad dynasty of the Arab Empire, Moawiyyah, died. Moawiyyah, full name Moawiyyah ben Abi Sufyan, also known as Moawiyyah I, from 606 to May 6, 680, is the Khalifa of Islam. In power from 661 to 680. He was the founder of the Umayyad dynasty, which ruled a vast Muslim country known as the Arab Empire, the Salithan Empire in European literature. In the name of Allah, you are one of the people who shouted against Osman and one of the people who killed him. I hope you will also be one of the people who was killed by Allah for this matter. Moawiyyah attacked Ali and his subordinates. Moawiyyah, one of the early founders of the Arab Empire, was the founder of the Umayyad dynasty. His position in the history of Islam is so prominent, but later generations of Muslims have scolded him, forming a sharp contrast. This is explained by his relationship with the Prophet Muhammad and his son-in-law Ali. Moawiyyah was the son of Abu Sufyan, the noble leader of Mecca. Sufyan was once the leader of the hostile forces of Muhammad. He surrendered under the irresistible front of Muhammad, converted to Islam and gained the recognition of the prophets, and became one of the early high-level leaders of Islam. After Muhammad's death, Sufyan coveted leadership, but eventually the well-known father-in-law of the Prophet Abu Bakr ascended to the throne of Khalifa. Sufyan left a sad sentence, "It's a mistake, it needs blood to clear this mistake." Muawiyah had participated in his father's action against Muhammad when he was a teenager, and inherited his father's ambition and strategy. They are politicians in religious clothing. At that time, the third Khalifa Osman, 644 to 656 in power, of Islam belonged to the Umayyad family together with Muawiyah. During his reign, Osman met a challenge from a strong rival, Ali, Muhammad's son-in-law. Ali is an outstanding Arab knight who has hardly suffered defeat in his life on the battlefield. The Prophet once sent him a sword along with a sentence, "There is no sword except the spine sword and no hero except Ali," and married his daughter Fatima to the warrior. In 656, Khalifa Osman was assassinated, and Ali became the fourth Khalifa, 656 to 661 in power. Ali's strengths and weaknesses are equally prominent. He is not only red-rooted, but also brave, generous and tolerant. But his tolerance is only for the people he appreciates. He is a fanatical Islamist. During his reign, many Christians were killed. His intolerance of dissenters within Islam has created a firm opposition, Hawali, and his faction. In addition, Ali's alleged involvement in the conspiracy to murder his predecessor, Khalifa Osman, was a good excuse for the opposition to attack him. The then Syrian governor, Moawiyyah, challenged him by taking advantage of Ali's shaky rule. In 657, Muawiyah marched on Ali's territory in the name of Ottoman's revenge. The two sides launched fierce battles in Suafin, and Muawiyah could hardly escape defeat. At a critical moment, Amur, Muawiyah's right-hand assistant, offered Ali the Quran to adjudicate the dispute, and the brave hero agreed, so that Muawiyah escaped the scourge. Since then, Muawiyah has avoided confronting Ali directly and moved west. The then governor of Egypt, Muhammad bin Abu Bakr, was the son of the first Khalifa Abu Bakr and a close friend of Ali, accused of murdering Osman. Muawiyah used this as an excuse to send troops to Egypt, defeating and killing Abu Bakr. Muawiyah, who has mastered Syria and Egypt, has actually become the most powerful man in the Arab world. In 661, Ali was assassinated by Hawali and the faction. Muawiyah, relying on his strong strength, was elected as Khalifa, and forced Ali's eldest son Hassan to give up his inheritance by force. In order to stabilize the situation, he falsely agreed with Ali's second son, Hussein bin Ali, to succeed Khalifa after his death, but actively nurtured his son Yazid's influence during his reign. In 680, when Muawiyah died, Yazid attacked and killed Hussein bin Ali, inheriting the position of Khalifa. From then on, Muawiyah's descendants inherited the position of Khalifa, which lasted until 750. The dynasty he founded was called the Umayyad dynasty. The center of Islam also moved from the Arabian Peninsula to Syria, and Damascus became the capital of the Arab Empire. But there were still many supporters of Ali and his descendants within the empire who opposed the dynasty established by Muawiyah, a prophet from a hostile faction, and they were known as the Shia faction. In 750, Shiites cooperated with another Islamic faction, the Abbas faction, and overthrew the Japanese Maya dynasty. Movier has since been described as a villain who used conspiracy to usurp leadership. However, no matter how much criticism Muawiyah received from later generations, his great contribution to the development of the cause of the Prophet in the world cannot be erased. When he was governor of Syria, he founded the Arab Navy, captured the island of Cyprus, and in the Battle of Ship Mast in 655, he destroyed the Byzantine navy and established the Arab dominance in the Mediterranean. Following his succession, Muawiyah expanded from east to west, and the tenacious Bedouin united under Allah's banner remained unstoppable. On the Eastern Front, the army of the Arab Empire continued its eastward march from Persia, captured Kabul, conquered the present-day area of Afghanistan, and then marched into the Central Asian prairie. In the southeast, part of the Arab army has entered the Indus Valley. On the Western Front, Byzantium continued to tremble in the gale of swords. It invaded Asia Minor in 662. Constantinople was besieged twice in 669 and 674. In the face of the most difficult city in world history, Byzantium returned 2 times without success. In 678, it signed a decent peace treaty and withdrew. With the expansion of the Arab army in all directions of the world, Islam has won a large number of believers everywhere with its concise, powerful and strong characteristics of acceding to the WTO, which has led to the extinction of many original religions in the Middle East and Central Asia. Of course, there is another major reason for the rapid spread of Islam, the economic policy of imposing a head tax on pagans. In the late period of the 4 great Khalifas, the administrative positions of local governors, clerks, judges and other countries have been formed. After Muawiyah came to power, he continued to improve the state bureaucracy and strengthen the supreme authority of Khalifa himself in political, military and religious aspects. Khalifa's democratic elections were eventually replaced by a hereditary system of the Umayyad family. Muawiyah has set up ministers who serve him to take charge of all aspects of affairs. At the local level, he divides the country into 9 provinces, each with a governor, to become the emir, appointed by himself, and each province with a tax officer in charge of finance, who is directly responsible for California. In the Muawiyah era, the aristocratic council and tribal representative council still existed and had greater power, and the governors of provinces also had greater independence. The centralization of power in the Muawiyah era was far from the level of the Persian or Byzantine empires. A sound national bureaucracy and a standing army will not be established until the time of Abdul Malik, 685 to 705. The Muawiyah era is actually a transitional period. As one of the most important founders of the Arab Empire after Omar I and one of the leaders of the great expansion of the Arab Empire, Movier undoubtedly deserves a place in this list. His influence on history is also very important, because his seizure of power created Shia. Shia has been widely spread in Iraq and Iran for more than 1,000 years, and achieved the orthodox status in Iran in the 16th century, which continues to this day. Movier ranked 33rd in the top 100 list. Comments. Muawiyah is the best generation of Ushang who combines the triple roles of religious leaders, militarists and politicians. As a religious leader and militarist, Muawiyah carried forward the hegemony of the Arab Empire and the spiritual cause of Islam, and as a politician, Muawiyah showed a brilliant means of seizing and defending power. Public interest and selfishness are often 2 essential aspects for a successful person. The first stamps in the world came into use on May 6, 1840. It was Rowland Hill, an Englishman, who invented and used stamps. Hill used to be a teacher, but later became British Postal Secretary. It is said that one day when Hill was walking, he saw the postman give a letter to a girl. The girl took the letter, looked at it, and returned it to the postman. Hill was surprised to ask the girl why she refused to accept it. The girl said that the postage was too expensive for her to pay. The letter was originally sent by the girl's fiancé, although she did not open it. But she could see if his fiancé was safe by looking at the sign he had made on the envelope. At that time, the postage in Britain was very expensive, and the postage was not paid by the sender, but by the recipient. Hill felt this was unreasonable and suggested reforming the postal system to reduce postage charges. The postage charges should be borne by the sender and stamps should be affixed as payment vouchers. The British government accepted Hill's proposal. In this way, the first stamps in the world were born. The first stamps had a black face with a relief statue of Queen Victoria. Each one was worth a penny. People called it a black penny stamp. On this day in 1937, the German airship Hindenburg, the largest dirigible ever built, explodes as it arrives in Lakehurst, New Jersey. 36 people died in the fiery accident that has since become iconic, in part because of the live radio broadcast of the disaster. The dirigible was built to be the fastest, largest and most luxurious flying vessel of its time. It was more than 800 feet long, had a range of 8,000 miles, could carry 97 passengers and had a state-of-the-art Mercedes-Benz engine. It was filled with 7 million cubic feet of hydrogen, even though helium was known to be far safer, because it made the flying ship more maneuverable. The Hindenburg had made 10 successful ocean crossings the year before and was held up by Germany's Nazi government as a symbol of national pride. Flying at a speed of 85 miles per hour, the Hindenburg was scheduled to arrive in New Jersey at 5 a.m. on May 6. However, weather conditions pushed the arrival back to the late afternoon, and then rain further delayed the docking at Lakehurst. When the dirigible was finally cleared to dock, Captain Max Pruss brought the ship in too fast and had to order a reverse engine thrust. At 7:20 p.m., a gas leak was noticed. Within minutes, the tail blew up, sending flames hundreds of feet in the air and as far down as the ground below. A chain reaction caused the entire vessel to burn instantly. The nearly 1,000 spectators awaiting the Hindenburg's arrival felt the heat from a mile away. Some on the blimp attempted to jump for the landing cables at the docking station. But most died when they missed. Others waited to jump until the blimp was closer to the ground as it fell. Those who were not critically injured from burns often suffered broken bones from the jump. 56 people managed to survive. On WLS radio, announcer Herbert Morrison gave an unforgettably harrowing live account of the disaster. "Oh, oh, oh. It's burst into flames. Get out of the way, please, this is terrible, it's burning, bursting into flames. And is falling. Oh. This is one of the worst, it's a terrific sight, oh, the humanity." On May 6, 1998, the world-renowned German Daimler-Benz Motor Company and Chrysler, one of the 3 largest American automobile companies, issued a statement announcing that they had signed a merger agreement totaling up to $38 billion. This has become the largest merger of the automotive industry in years. The 2 companies will be merged by stock exchange. The merged company will be named Daimler Chrysler and will be co-chaired by Volkswagen Chairman Schrenpe and Chrysler Chairman Eaton. The new company is expected to save about $1.4 billion in operating costs next year and nearly $3 billion annually thereafter. It will rank among the world's top 3 automobile manufacturers in terms of sales, stock market funds and profits.